You don't have to pay your bills. Everybody's all worried about when they get credit cards that are really just totally unmanageable, and they think, oh my God, what am I going to do? My issue is this. I am just so sick and tired of people who have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 in credit card debt year after year after year, carrying this awful balance, because what they're doing is they're paying the interest, enormous interest charges, instead of saving for retirement, paying for their kids' college education, getting a nicer life. It's ridiculous. It's what I call debt slavery. So here's what happens generally when you want to settle credit card debt. First of all, if you don't pay your credit cards, they're going to be more likely to settle with you. I'm not saying don't make payments, okay? I'm just saying that if you want to settle realistically and you're making payments, they're not going to talk to you seriously. Okay. Secondly, what you can do is if you don't make payments, there's a 6-month window between the date you're first delinquent and the time that you can settle with the original creditor. That's the actual bank that issued the credit card. Because what happens is after about 2 months of not paying, they start getting a little more serious about collecting. But after about 4 to 5 months, they're very likely making you a settlement offer. And they'll settle for 30, 40, or 50% of what you owe. And they'll do this routinely. You can do this yourself. You don't go and pay these debt settlement companies thousands of dollars. You can do this yourself. There's nothing to it. And so by maybe 4 or 5 months, you'll get these offers. If you don't, you can call and you can make them an offer. And many times you can offer part of the debt and you can make it in payments. And what about your FICO score? Well, you can negotiate with them. You can pay for deletion of derogatories they put on your credit. In return for getting part of what they're owed, they'll agree to delete the derogatories. So it can really help your FICO score. Now, what happens after 6 months is they charge the debt off. That doesn't mean that they don't collect. It just means that it's a charge off. So on their books, they have written your debt down to 0. From then on, the collection changes, because at that point, you don't settle for 30, 40, or 50 cents on the dollar. You can settle for 10 cents on the dollar, a dime on the dollar. After that, after 6 months, you're more likely dealing with an outside collection agency or someone that's purchased the debt, a zombie debt buyer, as we like to call them. And they have purchased the debt and they're collecting, and they might have paid a nickel for your debt on the dollar. So if you owe $10,000, they may have paid $500 for it. And if they get $1,000 from you, they'll be paid 2x on their money. Not a bad return. They'll be thrilled. So you might be able to settle for 10 cents on the dollar at that point. You can also pay for a delete then. You can actually pay to get the derogatories removed from your credit. Now, the original creditor, let's say it's some bank, they still have those 6 months of delinquencies that are on the credit report. But you can get after that, you can get all of the derogatories removed, and then you can go to the credit bureaus, not the original creditor, but the credit bureaus. You write them a letter, show them evidence that you've settled, and you can get them to change your charge off or change the deal to a paid settled for less than the amount owed, which is way better. So even those first 6 months of delinquency with the original creditor can be turned around and can improve. So the point is, you can get your FICO score up and running 12 to 18 months from now. Even if you have $50,000 or $100,000 in debt, you can be debt-free and on your way to saving money. How's that for a change? Instead of just paying out all your extra money to the credit cards.